Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Ramsey. A few changes to our vaccine rollout after this week's second National Cabinet meeting. All Aussies over the age of 50 will be able to access the AstraZeneca jab from May 3 in a bid to speed up the rollout. Pfizer will be reserved for under 50s, but AMA President Dr. Omar Khurshid says we shouldn't have reservations about AstraZeneca.
The AstraZeneca vaccine is a fantastic vaccine, and from what we've seen overseas, just as effective as the Pfizer vaccine.
Meanwhile, direct flights from India will also be cut by almost 1/3 in response to the spike in cases there. Health authorities are working with Qantas to identify any Victorian-based air crews who've had contact with a positive COVID case at Auckland Airport. Some members will be asked to quarantine for 2 weeks. Others will have to get a test and isolate until they receive a negative result. The Prime Minister has told a climate summit Australia is on a pathway to achieving zero greenhouse gas emissions.
And you can always be sure that the commitments Australia makes to reduce greenhouse gas emissions are bankable. We have proven performance.
Scott Morrison stopped short of committing to a 50% reduction in emissions by 2030. US President Joe Biden taking the lead on that one.
This is the decisive decade. This is the decade we must make decisions that will avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis. We must try to keep the Earth's temperature to an increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius.
The virtual summit included 40 world leaders. NASA's Perseverance rover just notched another first on its Mars mission, and it could help astronauts to one day explore the red planet. It successfully managed to generate oxygen from the Martian atmosphere. NASA's planning to create bigger extractors that would allow crews to eventually live off the land. And 2 Sydney residents are waking up $40 million richer after winning last night's Powerball. To sport, Penrith has maintained its unbeaten start to the season with a 24-6 win over Newcastle. Tonight, the Titans are at home to South Sydney. Parramatta plays Brisbane in Darwin. In AFL, the Bulldogs have made 5 changes to the lineup for tonight's clash with GWS. And Sydney Kings, comfortable 20-point winners over South East Melbourne in the NBL. In entertainment news, Whoopi Goldberg has confirmed she's writing a new superhero movie. The Sister Act star says the story will centre around an old black woman who discovers her powers later in life. She's admitted to being obsessed with superheroes since she was a kid. Speaking of superheroes, Michael Keaton will be reprising his role as Batman in the upcoming movie The Flash. He played The Dark Knight 3 decades ago. And a reason for the royals to celebrate today, Prince William and Kate's youngest son, Prince Louis, turns 3. That's your latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.